heaven and hell? Is a man's eternal spirit the metaphysical, condensed droplet of living, moving water that began to dwell within us when God personally breathed each of us into life? Will this droplet soul recondense and gloriously flow and reconnect back to source with other kindred spirits made of living water? Or will this droplet soul evaporate away into a metaphorical or metaphysical oblivion and recondense its spirit into a stagnant pond? Verses for consideration. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day." Genesis chapter 1, verses 6 to 8, King James Version. Jesus answered and said unto her, "Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life." John chapter 4, verses 13 to 14, King James Version. Jeremiah 17:13, "O Lord, the hope of Israel, all who forsake you will be put to shame. Those who turn away on earth will be written down because they have forsaken the fountain of living water, even the Lord." These are all extremely important kinds of ideas to try to take a hold of. Don't let any pastor or biblical scholar or teacher tell you that the Bible is just a simple, straightforward, literal thing to be simply understood. Sure, one could do that, but what other glorious things would they be missing? When the Bible so undeniably drips from cover to cover with massively complex, esoteric seeming symbolism and idiomatic imagery that points so strongly at the metaphysical things of our existence that we as the human on this earth are yet to fully grasp, is that true revelation and something ultimately for us to finally realize has as part of its definition the idea of having something come to pass into our awareness. Could it be that it is much of the traditional religious dogma and doctrine through which much of our traditional biblical interpretations come from that are what causes much of the confusion and then confusing denial of those metaphysical concepts expressed in God's Word? Perhaps part of the Great Awakening involves us ceasing to ignore those biblically spoken metaphysical things. Jesus' teachings, and especially his parables, are loaded with all kinds of clues to us about the non-religious and metaphysical nature of our existence. Here's a definition of that word, metaphysical. In simple terms, something metaphysical is beyond the physical, material world. It deals with abstract ideas, concepts, and questions about the nature of reality, existence, and the unknown. Think of it as questions about what things are made of and how they relate to each other beyond just the science of the observable world. Glory. Glory. His truth marches on.